Hello, my lovely Wolfpack, and welcome to the Lone Wolf Show, brought to you by Wolfpack Media, the most entertaining place on YouTube for your news and commentary. I'm your host, Justin Huseman, founder and news contributor. We have a great show today, and I can't wait to get started. But before we do, don't forget to smash that like button and subscribe to our channel. Join the pack today. So, guys, I'm going to get a little bit depressing this episode. I hope you, are okay with that. So guys, this past week, the hellscape that is California once again has blocked a bill that would make child sex trafficking a felony. California lawmakers apparently blocked a bid to make paying for sex with 16 to 17-year-olds a felony. My question being in this whole situation is, why the fuck is this not already a felony in every single state in the entire country already? Why is this acceptable anywhere in these United States? At the very least, I would expect at this point in human history that every country should have really strict laws against this, but apparently we can't even get it here in the United States. Why is this acceptable? Why are there states in this country where things like this are not treated as one of the most heinous things a person could ever do? My friends, I implore all of you to make this a conversation in your households. Make this a conversation within your local government, because it starts at the smaller levels of our government. Man, you guys got to be paying attention to what's going on in your communities, whether it be in your public schools. So go to PTA meetings. Like, I implore everybody, if you have children, you should be as involved as you possibly can. We live in a time where we can't just trust our children to be raised by the state, I guess is what I'm trying to portray here. So I implore you to make this a conversation. This conversation needs to be had, and actually this conversation needs to be screamed at the top of the highest mountains. So that being said, let's get to the news on this. Let's take a look here. Let me bring it up real quick. Here we go. So, what is this called? From Straight Arrow News. California lawmakers weaken proposed punishment for teen sex solicitation. And the question remains, like, why? I would really like to see the verbal arguments being made in this legislation. I have not been able to find anything, but I would really like to know. I don't know if these are closed sessions where there's no cameras or anything, but I've looked, and I was able to find the story through X and a lot of things, but I just really would love to be a fly on the wall of that room, of where I would like to hear what people's arguments are against this bill that they have voted to block, apparently. Anyway, I'll read. California lawmakers in the Assembly Public Safety Committee blocked an effort that would have made soliciting 16 and 17-year-olds for sex a felony. Former prosecutor and Democratic Assembly member Maggie Krell proposed Assembly Bill 379, saying perpetrators who sell or buy children for sex deserve harsher punishment. No fucking shit. Last year, the Golden State passed a measure making it a felony to purchase children 15 and younger for sex. Wow. So cool. That law went into effect in January. Wow. Only for, so, like, everybody else is like, go fuck yourself. Okay, I digress. Before I get too emotional about this, this says portions of AB 379 advance parts of Krell's bill did move forward. If AB 379 becomes law, it would still criminalize those who loiter to purchase teens for sex and establish a fund to support victims of sex trafficking. However, the provision that would have made it a felony to solicit sex from older children was removed in order to allow the bill to move forward. First of all, whoever's negotiating this bullshit, like, who was in the room? I want to know. I want to know, and I want to put them on blast in this channel. Who was in the room saying, well, I'll let this bill pass if you exclude older children? Oh, so still children, but like somehow your age makes a difference in a bill that prevents you from being sex trafficked. Or not even that. It's already criminally illegal, but it's only proposing harsher punishments for people who are engaged in these activities. I'll read on. Krell responds to amendment, and it's a quote here. I disagree with the amendment, Krill said during the committee hearing. I needed to take it to get this hearing. I'm grateful for the hearing, and I accept the amendment, and I look forward to working with the committee, including Assemblymember Tom Lackey, whose comments I really appreciated, to make sure that we bring another bill to protect 16 and 17-year-olds who are being purchased for sex. They're victims, absolutely. And this is a Democrat, so you guys, you think that I'm all about Republicans. No, this is a Democrat, California lawmaker, and I absolutely agree with this person here. There's no reason that this shouldn't already be on the books. That's what really boggles my mind is the fact that this isn't already in every single state all over these 50 United States. This already isn't passed into law. It should be federal law, in my opinion. Like, this should not be a law that's up to the states. You don't get to sex traffic children, period, mic drop, end of fucking story. Anyway, like I digress. Let me read on. Critics express concerns. This is what I really wanted to get into. Like, who is criticizing this? Critics of the bill's provision argue that it could have led to criminal charges against teenagers involved in consensual relationships. Shut the fuck up. Particularly those who are in LGBTQ plus are how lies and have parents who disapprove. No shit. No, oh my goodness. California, what are you guys doing over there? I really, California parents, what the fuck are you thinking? How are you not up in arms? Like, y'all will picket sign the shit out of Tesla dealerships over Doge and Elon Musk trying to save you some money. But when it comes to your children being sex trafficked, I don't care if you're 16, 17. That's completely unacceptable. Anybody under the age of 18 is completely unacceptable. I don't care about kids having consensual relationships. That should be a thing too. That we should be teaching our kids abstinence. That's what I was taught when I was in school. Absolute abstinence. Though we may know that kids are definitely not going to do that, especially teenagers, but it should be implied. Like, it's one of those things where, like, we know that our kids might smoke weed or drink alcohol, but that doesn't mean we should encourage them and give them the tools to do it. So, to me, this argument is completely moot. It's completely unacceptable. It's unacceptable in every way, shape, or form. Anyway, I shall digress again. There were a lot of youth advocates and activists who were concerned about the way that automatic felonies levied against older teens in relationships with other minors, said Leela Chappell, with the Coalition to Abolish Slavery and Trafficking, as reported by KXTV. Representatives with CAST, are the Coalition to Abolish Slavery and Trafficking, spoke to Vanguard News Group and say the bill is also likely to target certain people as it makes loitering a crime once again. Oh my god. Oh my god. You know, I love America and I love our system of government, but this shit where like we get into, this is why I say government is way too big and we have too many laws. Like, can we just say in every state all around the country that trafficking, not even just minors, I think sex trafficking, any human being within the borders of these United States should be federally illegal. And why it's not really says how our society is going. The fact that it's not, I don't know. Anyway, I'll read on. I'm sorry to get all up in arms. Blah blah blah. It's a lot of blah 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 and legal gook that none of us are gonna understand. But so we'll just leave that at that. So a lot of you guys may be wondering where the governor, Gavin Newsom, stands on all of this. Well, I got good news for you. Let's take a look. I got this article pulled up from Politico. If I can. Newsom again, they have in quotes here, Newsom again overrides Dems on sex trafficking. Having some computer issues here. Give me a minute. Okay. Here we go again. California Democrats are once again getting pulled into the sex trafficking quagmire. This time, though, it's through legislation from one of their own. And Governor Gavin Newsom is again intervening at the 11th hour, issuing a statement moments before publication of this edition, calling out Assembly Democrats for maneuvering this week to exclude older teenagers from an existing law that increases penalties on people who solicit minors for sex. It's another example of Newsom seizing an opportunity to present himself as a common sense Democrat, one willing to check his own party in Sacramento when he believes lawmakers have strayed too far left. Yeah, I love how, like, don't fall for this, guys. I'm gonna read this whole article, but don't fall for this. Gavin, on his newest podcast, if you guys go check that out, he's trying, like, we know what this is. This is political. We know what now that he's trying to present himself as more in the middle. Don't fall for it, though, man. It's just, he's trying for a bid at the presidential nomination in 2028. So he's trying to make himself look as though he's a moderate Democrat. And I say, you guys, when it does come 2028, don't fall for this bullshit. He's a psychopathic narcissist, in my opinion, so he'll say anything. And it's no different than a lot of the Democrats that we've had to choose from over the past couple decades. He's just a guy that's gonna, just like Obama, who will say all these good, nice words, and he's handsome, and he's got a good smile, so he can trick y'all with that dumb bullshit where he's gonna try to act like he's middle-of-the-road Democrat, but in all reality, he's actually probably more radical than a lot of these other people that we're hearing rumors of joining the 2028 presidential campaign. So before I read on, just no, don't fall for any of this bullshit. They're exactly right when they say this. At least this article seems to point that out. Anyway, where was I? He believes lawmakers have strayed too far. His move will likely force Democrat leaders to backtrack on legislative amendments they pushed over moderate and Republican objections. The law should treat all sex predators who solicit minors the same as a felony, regardless of the intended victim's age. Agreed. Izzy Gardon, Newsom spokesperson, said in a statement, full stop. Newsom's not-so-subtle demand followed several days of the Assembly Public Safety Committee playing so-called agenda chicken over a bill from Democratic Assembly member Maggie Krell. Her legislation would criminalize loitering with the intent to buy sex and expand a soliciting law authored by State Senator Shannon Grove to include 16 and 17-year-olds after Democrats carved the older teens out of the bill last year. Although Chair Nick Schultz and the committee advanced Krell's bill, the legislation still fueled the online conservative outrage machine that goes into overdrive every time a sex trafficker. Fuck you. You know, I was Politico. I was gonna give you the benefit of the doubt because you called out Gavin Newsom's bullshit. Now, screw you. And this isn't an issue on partisan lines. They want to come out and say that Republicans are conservative people are outraged every time something like this hits the Capitol. No. This is not along partisan lines. Every Republican and Democrat, no matter who you are, libertarian, independent, no matter who you are, you should be against blocking any of this. So trying to paint it out to be like it's a conservative talking point to not want teenagers sex trafficked. I don't want anybody sex trafficked. I don't want some 25-year-old woman sex trafficked. I don't want nobody sex trafficked. So even less when to try to paint the picture of or try to build a narrative of, oh, it's just conservatives that get outraged about this. I'm sorry, but I just disagree. I plainly and simply disagree. I think everybody, unless you're a gross pedophile, unless you have some sort of money that you're making in this game, I don't think anybody, any rational average everyday American would have a problem with making this like dude, the worst punishment that you could possibly give a person for this. Like, I think that you should get more years. You should get life in prison, if not the death penalty, for for crimes against children, any kind of crime against children. And I don't think anybody, whether you're Republican or Democrat, could disagree with that sentiment. Anyway, I'll read on. Today, the anger was over committee amendments that once again cut from the bill the provision adding older teens back into Grove's soliciting law. These are girls, said Assemblymember Tom Lackey, a Republican on the committee. These are people that our society should be doing everything they can to protect. Absolutely. So why are we protecting the predator by removing this tenet? That's exactly the question that I would love answered. I would love to know who these people are that are trying to block this. Who are you? What are you doing? I would like to have an audit of where you're getting your money from. I would like to know every single motherfucker that has anything to do with trying to block this bill. And I would like for them to explain plainly to the American people exactly why you would not want this bill to go through. As Playbook reported last month, it's not quite that simple. Krell's bill got caught up in co-author Grove's latest attempt to score a victory with an issue she successfully used against Democrats for the past 2 years. This is not the first time Newsom has elbowed his way into a legislative conflict over sex trafficking legislation. In 2023, the Assembly Public Safety Committee wouldn't advance a Grove bill on sex trafficking, prompting Newsom to tell reporters he was trying to see what we can do. Yeah, sure, bro. The fact that this is even an argument is blows my fucking mind. I don't know about you guys. Let me know what you think down in the comments. It blows my mind that we have to actually sit here and argue this in any court of law or legislative branch. The fact that we even, like, this should be a no-brainer for both sides of the aisle, no matter where you are here in these United States. The fact that we have to argue this absolutely blows my mind, and it sickens me. It absolutely fucking sickens me that we have to sit here and argue about this shit that is quite obviously that you should get the fucking book thrown at you. No matter what, dude, I do not care. You can try to. I hate people that try to nuance a fucking their way out of an obvious bill. Fucking, oh well, the nuance. Fuck the nuance. It should be absolutely the law throughout all of the land that you don't get to diddle little kids. Fucking full stop. But I'll read on. Newsom's statement puts him at odds with progressive Democrats who supported Grove's bill last year, only with the carve-out excluded older teens. They were not happy to see the age range reappear. What the fuck? Why? Why is the age range a fucking... Ugh. God help California. If anybody from California is watching this right now, you need to make this a big problem. Make yourself a huge problem. I need strongly worded emails. I need people in the streets with their picket signs absolutely calling for anything. No, criminals that commit these crimes, these particular crimes, should be treated as the worst of the worst, period, full stop. They were not happy to see the age range, even in a piece of legislation authored by their own member, State Senator Scott Wiener. He's a wiener. Told Playbook he was just floored by Grove trying to expand the law after agreeing to Democratic amendments last year. I can't read this anymore. I'm sorry, guys. This is making me too angry, but I'd really like to know what you guys think about this. Like, is California just completely lost? And not just California. I know that these types of laws aren't taken seriously in a couple of other blue states, even some red states. So, if I were you guys, get a hold of whatever your local leaders are. Make this a big deal. This needs to be a conversation that needs to be had. All you parents out there, you need to make sure that you're getting involved in this. Like, a lot of people just want to bury their heads in the sand, and you'll do that for show until it happens to you. And we don't want that. So don't wait until it happens to you guys. Okay, I'll leave it there before I get off too much on a rant, but let me know what you guys think down in the comments. I really appreciate all of your opinions. I always make sure we message back to any comments we get on our videos. So go ahead and let us know what you guys think. But until then, you can follow us on X and Facebook, and you can subscribe to us here on YouTube at Wolfpack Media 92. We're also on Rumble if you prefer that over YouTube, so go check that out. And we will see you guys tomorrow morning. I will have my daily show. I don't know if I'll do a nightly show because we're going to be recording with the group, but stay tuned for all that and more, and we will see you guys then. Peace.